Within the hallowed halls of Yale University's Beinecke Rare Book and Manuscript Library rests MS 408, better known as the Voynich Manuscript. It's not merely old, it's an enigma wrapped in vellum. Dated conclusively by radiocarbon analysis to the early 15th century, likely between 1404 and 1438, this codex presents roughly 240 pages of calfskin parchment filled with a script that remains entirely undeciphered. No other document quite like it exists. Its text flows with apparent structure, featuring an estimated 170,000 glyphs drawn from a unique alphabet of 20 to 30 distinct characters, some resembling Latin letters, others completely alien. Statistical analysis suggests it follows linguistic patterns, exhibiting word frequencies and distributions akin to natural languages, yet it corresponds to no known tongue, ancient or modern. Interspersed throughout this inscrutable text are hundreds of intricate, hand-colored drawings. These illustrations depict fantastical botanical specimens unseen in nature, complex astronomical and astrological charts featuring unfamiliar constellations, curious biological diagrams showing small, often female figures bathing in elaborate green fluid-filled structures connected by intricate plumbing, cosmological maps defying easy interpretation, and seemingly pharmaceutical or alchemical recipes marked by drawings of jars and plant parts in the margins. It is a visual and linguistic puzzle box, a haunting artifact that has resisted comprehension for over a century since its rediscovery, prompting the central consuming question: what secrets does this baffling book actually hold? The allure of an unbreakable code has drawn some of the world's sharpest minds. Early attempts at decipherment began shortly after Wilfrid Voynich acquired the manuscript in 1912. University of Pennsylvania scholars tried and failed. Perhaps the most significant effort came from William Friedman, a titan of American cryptography who led the team that broke Japan's formidable purple cipher during World War II. Applying sophisticated techniques honed against enemy codes, Friedman and his colleagues subjected the Voynich script to rigorous statistical analysis. They identified patterns suggesting a real language or a highly sophisticated cipher, noting elements like prefix and suffix structures, repeated sequences, and adherence to Zipf's law, which describes word frequency distribution in natural languages. Yet, the underlying system remained elusive. The script resisted every known cryptographic method, from simple substitution ciphers to complex polyalphabetic systems. Friedman famously concluded it might be an artificial or constructed language, designed a priori with its own unique grammar and syntax. Theories abound. Is it a lost European dialect? An East Asian language transcribed phonetically? A micrographic cipher hiding text within seemingly random strokes? Or perhaps a steganographic system where the real message is concealed within the structure itself, independent of the visible glyphs? Decades of work by linguists, cryptanalysts, and computer scientists using powerful algorithms have yielded tantalizing hints identifying potential word structures, entropy levels suggesting meaningful content, but no verifiable translation. The code remains stubbornly, maddeningly, unbroken. If the script defies decryption, perhaps the purpose lies elsewhere. What function could such a bizarre book serve? The illustrations offer clues, albeit ambiguous ones. The detailed botanical section, despite depicting unidentifiable species, strongly suggests an herbal or pharmacopoeia. Could it document the medicinal plant knowledge of a specific region or culture, perhaps one whose flora is now extinct or highly localized? Some researchers propose it's a manual related to women's health, citing the numerous depictions of female figures, often nude, in the biological section with its complex network of tubes and pools. Another persistent theory points towards alchemy. The intricate diagrams, strange cosmological charts, and potential recipe pages align with the symbolic and secretive nature of alchemical texts, which often employed coded language and allegory. Astrology, too, finds echoes in the zodiacal and celestial diagrams. Perhaps it was a comprehensive guide combining multiple medieval sciences. But then there's the provocative theory. Is the Voynich Manuscript an elaborate, meaningless hoax? Crafted specifically to defraud a wealthy patron like Emperor Rudolf II, a known collector of curiosities? Arguments against this point to the manuscript's linguistic complexity. It's statistically challenging to fake such consistent patterns over 240 pages, and the carbon dating placing it firmly in the early 15th century, seemingly before Voynich himself. However, proponents of the hoax theory argue the text could still be gibberish, cleverly constructed to mimic language, and the illustrations deliberately obscure. More fringe ideas connected to lost civilizations, extraterrestrial contact, or secret societies guarding forbidden knowledge, adding layers of mystique but lacking concrete evidence. Beyond the inscrutable text, the illustrations themselves are a profound source of fascination and confusion. They are generally categorized into 6 distinct sections, each presenting unique challenges. The botanical section features over 100 drawings of plants, but attempts to match them conclusively to known species have largely failed. While some bear superficial resemblance to real-world flora, details like root structures, leaf arrangements, or flower parts are often fantastical or contradictory. Are they depictions of extinct plants, highly stylized representations, or purely imaginary creations? The astronomical and astrological section contains circular diagrams suggestive of celestial charts, zodiac signs, including recognizable ones like Pisces, Taurus, Aries, possibly Sagittarius, suns, moons, and stars. However, the specific constellations or cosmological systems depicted don't align neatly with European or any other known tradition. The biological section is perhaps the most bizarre, dominated by drawings of small, predominantly female figures, usually nude, bathing or wading in pools interconnected by intricate systems of tubes and pipes, strongly resembling anatomical organs or plumbing. Some figures wear crowns. Their purpose and the meaning of these elaborate balneological scenes remain entirely speculative. The cosmological section includes circular diagrams and fold-out pages with complex, abstract patterns resembling maps or charts of unknown realms or concepts. Their geometric complexity is striking. The pharmaceutical section shows arrays of labeled jars and containers alongside plant parts, reinforcing the idea of a medical or alchemical purpose, though the labels are in the undeciphered script. Finally, the recipe section consists mainly of dense text interspersed with small star or flower-like markers in the margins, often interpreted as instructions or formulas. These illustrations, rendered with a naive yet meticulous hand, don't just accompany the text. They deepen the mystery, providing visual anchors that are themselves resistant to interpretation. Tracing the manuscript's journey through time adds another layer to its mystique. While its creation is pinned to the early 15th century, its documented history begins much later, leaving significant gaps. The first confirmed owner appears to be Georg Baresch, a 17th century alchemist in Prague. Baresch was baffled by the manuscript and sent sample pages to Athanasius Kircher, a renowned Jesuit scholar in Rome, hoping for decipherment letters documenting this exchange survive, providing the earliest concrete historical anchor. After Baresch's death, the manuscript passed to his friend Jan Marek Marci, rector of Charles University in Prague. In 1665, or 1666, Marci sent the book itself to Kircher, accompanied by a cover letter that provides crucial, albeit debated, provenance details. This letter claims the manuscript was once purchased by Emperor Rudolf II of Bohemia, reigned 1576-1612, for the hefty sum of 600 gold ducats. Rudolf, known for his fascination with alchemy, astrology, and the occult, maintained a court brimming with scholars and mystics. Marcy's letter further suggests, based on a claim by his deceased friend, Raphael Mniszowski, that the author might have been the 13th century English Franciscan friar, philosopher, and scientist Roger Bacon. This attribution, however, lacks solid evidence and contradicts the 15th century carbon dating. After Kircher, the manuscript likely resided in the library of the Collegio Romano, now the Pontifical Gregorian University, for over 200 years, seemingly forgotten. Its trail goes cold until 1912, when Wilfrid Voynich, a Polish antiquarian book dealer, purchased it along with other manuscripts from the Villa Mondragone near Rome, a Jesuit college. Voynich dedicated the rest of his life to promoting the manuscript and seeking its decipherment, bringing it to public attention and lending it his name. Since 1969, it has been housed at Yale's Beinecke Library, accessible to researchers yet guarding its secrets as closely as ever. While traditional cryptography and linguistics have hit roadblocks, modern science and computational power offer new avenues of investigation. Radiocarbon dating, performed by the University of Arizona in 2009, provided one of the few solid facts. The parchment dates consistently to the early 15th century, between 1404 and 1438. This definitively rules out later figures like Voynich himself as the creator, though not necessarily as a potential hoaxer acquiring an old blank codex. Analysis of the inks and pigments, conducted more recently, revealed materials consistent with medieval and early Renaissance practices. The inks are primarily iron gall ink, common for the period. The colored paints used in the illustrations employ a typical palette derived from minerals like ochre, azurite, and potentially copper greens, mixed with a binder, likely egg white or gum arabic. These findings make a sophisticated 19th or 20th century forgery, using blank period parchment less probable, as replicating the exact chemical profile of 15th century materials would be exceptionally difficult. Furthermore, computational linguistics and artificial intelligence have entered the fray. Researchers have applied complex algorithms to analyze the text's statistical properties: entropy, a measure of randomness, predictability, word length distributions, and morphological structure, how words might be formed. Some AI studies claimed tentative breakthroughs, suggesting Hebrew as the underlying language or identifying specific structural patterns. However, these results remain highly controversial within the research community, often criticized for methodological flaws or lack of reproducibility. While AI can detect subtle patterns invisible to the human eye, interpreting those patterns correctly without a known linguistic kia, Rosetta Stone, for Voynich remains the fundamental challenge. Science has confirmed its age and materials, but the code itself endures. So, where does this leave us? The Voynich manuscript remains a unique convergence of the known and the profoundly unknown. We know its age early 15th century. We know its physical composition vellum, iron gall ink, period pigments. We know its documented history, albeit incomplete, stretching back to 17th century Prague. We can observe its Structurian unknown script exhibiting linguistic patterns, coupled with hundreds of bizarre illustrations unlike anything else in the historical record. Yet, the core questions persist. Who wrote it? What language or code does the script represent? What was its intended purpose? Why depict such strange plants and scenes? Was it a work of genius, madness, or elaborate deception? The manuscript's resistance to decipherment has elevated it beyond a mere historical curiosity. It has become a cultural touchstone, inspiring novels, music, artwork, and fueling countless documentaries and online discussions. It represents the ultimate intellectual challenge, a testament to the limits of our knowledge and our enduring fascination with the unknown. Perhaps its true value lies not in a potential decipherment, which may never come, but in its power to provoke wonder, speculation, and rigorous inquiry across disciplines from history and linguistics to botany, art history, and computer science. It forces us to confront the possibility that some secrets may remain locked away, artifacts of a past we can touch but never fully comprehend. The greatest unsolved mystery isn't just about finding an answer, it's about the enduring power of the question itself.